Good evening, everybody. This is Sophia. I pray that everybody is well. Had something on my heart tonight that's been bothering me for a few days since I read the news reports about the young African-American ROTC officer, Richard Collins III, who was stabbed to death on the University of Maryland's campus while leaving a party and waiting for an Uber car with some of his friends. He was stabbed by a young white man who was involved on a Facebook group that called itself Alt-Reich, R-E-I-C-H, which is, of course, the term that Hitler's Nazis used. And I want to just talk about this tonight to underscore the point of what we've been talking about here on YouTube now for months as African-American women and men and as a community about the damaging ugliness and often violence that is now resulting from social media groups and social media posts. And I just wanted to say, first and foremost, I've written a piece. If you have a moment tonight or later this weekend, please read it. I wrote about Richard Collins III, brilliant, beautiful young black man with a great future ahead of him. Did everything right, played by the rules, wearing his nation's uniform, about to go serve after graduation. His dad and family accepted his diploma at Bowie State's graduation on, I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday. And it's just really troubled me. I've posted about it on my Facebook, and I wanted to say something about it here tonight because I think it's time that we as black men and as black women, mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, aunts, nieces, and nephews really got a grip on the fact that we are under siege as a people. If you look around on the news, you look at the violence, the beatings, the murders, the mayhem, campus violence is up and has spiked dramatically since January 2017. The rhetoric of the 2016 election was toxic. It was poisonous. And it gave some among us, now listen at this, because this is the point that I think I've been trying to make. I know Crystalline's been trying to make it, and others for a long time. And again, I've seen some amazing brothers on here, and thank you for those of you who do great videos and are positive and speak the truth. And I appreciate you, and I wish there was more of that on both sides. But what I want to say is that my point and our point has been that social media is dangerous if used irresponsibly. Posting hate, making suggestions, feeding into people who are isolated, who are lonely, who feel low about themselves, who are negative, who feel like they don't belong, who have an axe to grind. You know, I often tell my security and other people, because of course every time that I speak, we have a meeting and they talk with the venue and we do all the things we need to do. But I tell them, I said, I'm not afraid of the people who post the crazy YouTube videos or the postings. The people who do it, they're not the people that are going to come and stab you or hurt you or kill you. It's the wacko who's posting the comments. It's the silent person who's taking it in and who is taking for serious some of the foolishness that's on here and some of the vitriol and the venom, and then they decide, well, hey, yeah, I think I do need to go act on that. I think I should go take that person's life. I think I should stalk that person's home. I think I should hurt that person's child. And so I wanted to just say that as we remember Richard Collins, and one of my sorority sisters at American University was the victim of one of these hate crimes. They hung bananas up, put the letters AKA, compared her to the gorilla who grabbed that child, as you recall. I guess it was last year or so. And they haven't found the perpetrator yet, but there is an uptick in racism against people of color, against people who are different. And it has really gotten to a dangerous level because of social media. And so I just wanted to stop by tonight and say that, again, my heart goes out to the family of Richard Collins III, a beautiful young man. Read my piece on NBC, via NBC Black, which is the vertical for African American news. I write for them, and I wrote a piece about it and my thoughts about the culture that we're in right now, the culture of violence, the culture of bullying, the culture of harassing, the culture of death and menacing and anger And I want us to all stop and think when we post, when we share videos, when we have content. Free speech never gives us the right to hate people. Free speech never gives us the right to threaten or menace or hurt people. And once again, in real time, we see an example of a young man waiting for an Uber car who was the innocent, unprovoked victim of some drunken white racist who felt empowered, took out a knife, and stabbed this young man mortally, wounding him. They couldn't save his life. Nobody should die at 23 years old. Nobody should die a violent death like that, particularly not a young man who did everything his family asked of him, his country asked of him, society asked of him, and he had an amazing future ahead. He was going to be a great officer, get married someday, have a family of his own, serve his country, maybe be president someday. And now that's over. And my heart is broken. I've said it many times before. I've got a brother, I've got a father, I've got uncles. I have men in my life who are important to me, who I love. And the thought of one of them being murdered at the hands of police, or murdered at the hands of another black man, or murdered at the hands of some crazed white neo-Nazi racist frightens me. And I just think we all need to stop and think a little bit as a community about how we're talking to each other and how we're treating each other, because we're under siege. And black men have to do nothing but be black in this country, as do black women. And that's a license for some to kill us. But to round this out, how tragic when we get on social media, when we get on YouTube and Facebook. And by the way, thank you for your comments on my last video about that guy, Robert Townsend, who posted that Facebook video, Facebook photos and the suggestion about double-barrel shotguns and Old Yeller and, shooting people to put them out of their misery. That post was taken down by Facebook. They found it to be a violation of their policy, thank God. And so I want to continue to encourage you, if somebody threatens, stalks, menaces, bullies you, report it, screenshot it, tape it, and turn it into your local authorities. I'm going to have a sit down here with the sheriff here in Loudoun County and some other law enforcement officials about this. They've watched a number of the YouTube videos. They've looked at a number of things pertaining to me, but not just to me, and all really shocked and appalled. But the good news is, as I told you, is everybody's got cyber stalking units. Everybody has cyber crime units now, because this is real. So you don't have to take it. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be frightened. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't have a right to defend yourself, protect yourself, because no one has the right to make you afraid for your life, afraid for your safety, afraid for your sanity. It's just not cool, and it's unlawful. I'm going to continue to say that until some understand. But remembering Richard Collins today, I'm feeling very sad for his loss. I didn't know him, but I don't need to know him. I have a brother who was a young lieutenant and went through the officers training program, and a proud moment in our family's life. And I just pray to God that we will come together and stop terrorizing each other. And it's wrong, and it's not right, and it needs to stop. But please read my piece. Let me know what you think about it. And I will continue to be a voice for black women. I will continue to be a voice for black men. I will continue to be someone that speaks up when we aren't treated the way we should be, and when we are senselessly murdered, arrested, harassed, beaten, locked up, whatever, because it's not right. So I am done now. Everybody have a good Memorial Day weekend, and God bless you and keep you. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.